Welcome back. I'm attorney Thomas Burton, and today I'm going to show you how to file your annual report for a Wisconsin business. And this will work for either a corporation or an LLC. So once again, you want to go to the Wisconsin Department of Financial Institutions website. You can Google it. It's wdfi.org right up here. And when you get to the home page, it should look like this. You want to make sure you're on the official state of Wisconsin website. And you're going to click top left, I want to file. And this button here, annual report. Now, this is assuming you already have an LLC or Wisconsin Business Corporation set up in the state of Wisconsin. And what happens is after the first year, you pay your filing fee online to form your business. But after the first year, you need to file an annual report every year, whether you're a corporation or a limited liability company or other entity. And the filing fee for an LLC currently is $25 per year. So when you filed your articles of organization, you should have received an entity ID number. And you'll see here it says, if the printed ID number on your postcard notification contains a 0, just enter the 0. Do not enter a capital letter O for the number 0. So I don't know, in my opinion, why they use O's in there, but they will mail you generally a postcard notification to the address you put down as your registered agent, the person you designated to receive legal service of process, receive mail for your business legally. So if you get that postcard, you can use that ID number on there and type it in here. If you misplace the postcard, your entity ID should be on your articles of organization for your LLC that you filed. So go back to that paperwork. Or if you can't remember that either, we can just look up your entity ID. So let's do a search for Green Bay Packers. And you'll see here we have the Green Bay Packers, Inc. They were registered January 26th of 1935 and restored to good standing on January 30th, 2007. So when you see this, it often means someone forgot to pay a filing fee, and then they did pay or filed their report a little bit late, and then they get this restored to good standing. Now, like, for example, the Green Bay Packers Stadium Dedication Committee was a non-stock corporation, looks like probably a nonprofit, and it was involuntarily dissolved in 1993. And that can happen, you'll see here, incorporated, in bad standing, intent to involuntary, if they don't pay their fees or file their reports. So, but the Green Bay Packers, Inc. is in good standing, restored to good standing, and there's their registered agent right there in Green Bay, and you can see they've filed these annual reports. The current name is Green Bay Packers, Inc. In 1997, they dropped the Green Bay Packers, Inc. Changed registered agent. You can see all the action here, so it's interesting. But let's say you want to file your annual report for the Green Bay Packers. Okay, so here's the entity ID, if you can see here. So that's what, if you can't find on your postcard, you can look it up using your business name. So let's say we're going to file annual report, but it says this entity has already filed an annual report for the year, so we can't file one for them. Now look up here, this is for this new business venture. You're supposed to do this other form. But let's go back. So that's one example, the Green Bay Packers. Now, if you watch my other video on how to form a business in Wisconsin, you'll recall I think we search for an entity called Badger Painting. In Wisconsin, there's a lot of Badger. So here's one, restored to good standing. And they have formed their LLC but haven't filed the annual report. You can see some years delinquent, then restored to good standing, things like that. But let's try this one. File an annual report. And it looks like they need to file their annual report for this year yet. So we can just do it partially like we were filing it, although we won't be because we're not going to pay the fee for them. But you'll see here you're being redirected to the one-stop business portal to complete your annual report. As of January 2017, all reports must be filed through the portal. And if you do it that way, either using your NIT ID or the name, it'll fill this in for you. So you just click next and it's going to tell you what you need. This is for an LLC. You need the name, the registered agent, principal office, the name, title, and address of each manager. If it's manager managed, email, payment with credit card or e-check, $25 per year. And then they charge you a $1 portal fee. So, and make sure your browser have the latest in the spam blocker for the email. So then you click next. And in this case, it will fill in your registered agent. So if that's correct, we can click use current. If you've changed where you want your registered agent, either the name or the mail to go, and it must be in Wisconsin, then you need to change this. So if it's an individual, you change it to, let's say you moved and you're using your home address, you change it to your new one. Or if you're using an entity, like you're paying someone to be the registered agent, you would change it to this. So for this example, we're saying there's nothing changed. We're going to use the one from last year. Click next. And then this is the principal office address they have on file. So again, if that's current, you use existing. If you need to update it, this is the time to do it easily. And you just change it to 123 Main Street, Madison, Wisconsin, etc. They even will provide suggestions. Oh, yes, that's it. Okay, but we're not going to for this example. We're going to use the existing. Next. And then this is key. How is your LLC managed? Is it manager managed or member managed? And check out my other videos about making the choice on this. But you made this choice when you organized the LLC. So if you aren't sure, go back to that document, your articles of organization, and check whether you chose member managed or manager managed. If you're a single member LLC, it's likely you did member management because you're the only member. You're also operating it. But if it's an entity where you're hiring other people to manage it for you, it's possible you did manager manage. So check on that to be sure. And again, check out my other videos on LLCs discussing some of this and how to make your choice. But just go back to your articles of organization. And I always suggest you keep these articles of organization handy. I like to put them in a binder. You have a corporate records binder, but I also keep them in an electronic version so I can reference them. So let's say you're member managed, click next. Brief description of the nature of the business. Now I'm just making this up, but I'm going to say residential painting company. Something, this isn't our painting business, but they would put in what it actually does. Has the entity entered into any contract combination in the form of a trust or otherwise or conspiracy in restraint of trade or commerce? So assuming the answer is no, which I hope it is no, because They're asking you this question because you aren't supposed to enter into conspiracy and restraint of trade or commerce. You say no, click next. And then the contact information for who's filing the annual report. So we're just going to say Bucky Badger, and he's at 123 Main Street, Madison, Wisconsin. And you can reach him at 1-608-222 Bucky. I'm not sure the Bucky address. Bucky at buckybadger.com, just for instance. And again, they're correcting my address, so let's do that. And this would be the final screen you'd get to. Again, it should have your entity ID, the name, registered agent, principal office, management, residential painting company, and then contact information for who's actually filing the annual report. So in many cases, it's going to be the owner of this LLC, right? But if you have employees working for you, maybe they, or a corporate secretary or attorney filing this for you, they would put their information in here. So then we click next, and you're going to have to sign it here as the attorney, the member, or the manager. And then you would put in Bucky Badger here. But this is your legal signature. So I'm not going to continue here just because I don't want to actually file this report. But you would click next and then check the box, of course, and you would then enter your card information and pay your $25 fee. And once it all goes through, you should receive a confirmation. So that's the basic process for an LLC or a corporation. And again, I'm just going to go back because we're not actually going to file it and pay the fee. And of course, we wouldn't want to do that without this entity's permission. They will do it on their time frame. But that's just an example of someone who hasn't filed it yet that needs to this quarter. Again, like I said, with the Packers, that would be an example of a corporation filing it. We went through an LLC. There's a lot of Packers. Here's a Packers LLC. Looks like a piece of real estate. And again, they've already filed their annual report. And you can see here they have an attorney as the registered agent, and they took care of it when it was due. So that's always a good idea as well. You can use your attorney to take care of this stuff for you. But the main point of this video is just to show you how to file this annual report. And again, you do it on the Wisconsin DFI website. It's really handy if you have that postcard to just punch in your ID number here. But of course, if you know your LLC name, you can also just search that way and start your filing. And they say over here, if you have any problem signing in, you can contact DFI or phone. So I like how they've made it pretty user-friendly with the website here. The main thing is to remember to file your annual report on time so that you don't get that message we saw about it being dissolved or administratively dissolved or these restored to good standing. Because it's not the end of the world, but then you have to, if you file late, get restored versus just being on time and keeping that. You see here they have, this is Green Bay Packers yearbook, this notice of administrative dissolution. So they didn't do something And then they got the administrative dissolution, and then delinquent, and then restored to good standing, and then delinquent. So you can see how that goes if you're late or don't do it on time. So I hope this video has been helpful to you in our new how-to series. Check out my videos about LLCs that I referenced earlier. And if you're interested in starting an LLC, a limited liability company in Wisconsin, I've got a free 5-step Wisconsin LLC startup guide. I'll drop a link to that in this video. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.